to say, lately more and more Sony has showed exactly why I'm perfectly fine with going back to Xbox and just being very content with what they're doing. Like, I can remember back in the day, like, Sony was very much just a company that's out there competing, and I think that's fine. But I feel like right now Sony has this idiotic sense of self-righteousness that they should be allowed to do whatever the hell that they want, and that anything that Microsoft tries to do is not right. So we have lots more information, breaking news today. A lot of this has to do with Call of Duty, regulators, Microsoft taking shots at Sony, Sony taking shots at Microsoft. Ooh boy, I tell you what, this is shaping up to be one for the ages. And if you didn't think competition was right front and center with Xbox and PlayStation, or you thought that things were going to go easy, or that these companies play nice, no, it's not, because Sony has shown that they are a snake in the grass. They can pretend to, you know, be cool and all this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, we see behind the scenes they're doing everything they can to make Microsoft look bad and not be able to compete. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I have to be honest with you, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm going to get into this video. I haven't ranted like this in a very long time, but I have to be honest, this is just the way that it is, the way that I feel. I don't care who likes it, who doesn't like it. Let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Yes, you know what? We are having fun. This is back to, feels to me like, you know, back in the day, years ago, Sony, Microsoft, neck and neck, fighting it out. Let's go. Man, this is what it's all about. So here's the interesting thing. Microsoft and Sony, they're going back and forth. This is so interesting to me. So Sony is saying to regulators right now that Call of Duty players are likely to switch to Xbox even if the game doesn't go exclusive to Xbox. So now they're trying to dictate this at an unbelievable level. PlayStation believes Microsoft could differentiate the Xbox versions of future games, which is so freaking funny because Sony literally pays for exclusive Call of Duty content to get people to buy the PlayStation version. And they're trying to say that they don't want Microsoft to be able to add exclusive content to draw people to the Xbox version. How is this even a thing? Sony has told the UK's competition regulator that it believes some Call of Duty players are likely to switch to Xbox even if the series remains on PlayStation following Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard's. That's partly due to the increased differentiation of that could emerge between Xbox and PlayStation versions of future Call of Duty titles, should Microsoft's proposed deals be approved by global market regulators. In addition to the obvious benefit that would emerge for consumers should Microsoft's intentions to bring Call of Duty to its Game Pass subscription service come to fruition. Despite repeated assurances from Xbox that the Call of Duty series, which is regularly the best-selling release of the year in the US, will remain on PlayStation, Sony has been engaged in an increasingly public war of words over the proposed deal and told press that Microsoft's offer in regards to the deal was inadequate on many levels. Now, regulators around the world are currently scrutinizing Microsoft's proposed acquisition, with the UK CMA voicing similar concerns that the deal could harm PlayStation and other game subscription services should Microsoft make Activision Blizzard content exclusive to its platform. Microsoft said in response to the CMA's decision to expand its inquiry this past week that it has no intention to take Call of Duty away from gamers, and claimed that doing so would actually tarnish both Call of Duty and the Xbox brands. However, in an extensive document published by the CMA, it's revealed that Sony Interactive Entertainment believes that even if Microsoft is true to its word on keeping the series multi-platform, it could still add exclusive features to the Xbox version of the games to the point where it would likely influence players' choice of console. Sony Interactive Entertainment told the CMA that even if Call of Duty games remained available on PlayStation following the merger, the merged entity would still be able to engage in partial foreclosure by increasing the difference between the versions of Call of Duty available on Xbox and PlayStation. According to Sony, gamers may expect that Call of Duty and Xbox will include extra content and enhancements with the console hardware, in addition to any benefits from membership in Xbox Game Pass. Sony submitted these factors are likely to influence gamers' choice of console. Sony should know how much pull exclusive Call of Duty content has on consumers' console choices, as for much of the past decade, it's had its own exclusive deal in the place for the series. And for the last several years, a marketing deal has seen PlayStation users receive content updates before other platforms, as well well as exclusive bonuses such as free items and bundles. Previously, Xbox had a deal with that with the Xbox 360 version. Before it expires, Sony's Call of Duty deal is believed to cover this year's Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 and a new game from Black Ops developer Treyarch, which may not arrive until 2024. Now, Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, claimed in September that he had provided Sony a signed agreement pledging future and content parity in Call of Duty games for at least several more years, beyond the actual expiration of the existing Sony contract. While the Xbox exec claimed that the offer goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements, Jim Ryan didn't really agree. And instead of going and actually delivering things that the fans want, like, you know, let's say a first-party showcase like they've done every other year, he flew out to complain about it and say that, hey, you know what, it's not enough. How dare Jim Ryan think that it's okay to go out there and complain about this stuff when they're the ones that are buying all this content and locking it behind PlayStation, first party, third party. They're buying studios left and right, and nobody's complaining about that, right? So yeah, I think it's unfair. I think that it's ridiculous that Sony thinks they can dictate, you know, the deals and the content and all that kind of stuff when they're literally paying. They're paying for exclusive content. Think about that for a second. Sony pays for exclusive Call of Duty content right now. How on earth can they think that they can force Microsoft not to have exclusive content? It just, to me, it blows my mind. I don't get this worked up over this stuff much, but it's like, you know, I love gaming, and I think that it's absolutely asinine with what Sony's doing right now. Like, how in the world can Sony have the balls to complain about that, right? They literally buy stuff like Final Fantasy, keep it off Xbox forever, who knows when. I mean, they do this with everything. They do this all the time, and yet they think they can just dictate what Microsoft can do and, you know, and get away with it. I don't understand that. I don't understand the thought process behind people backing Sony or not thinking that Sony looks absolutely hideously hypocritical with this, right? Like, they literally pay for think about this. How can anyone say otherwise? They literally pay for Call of Duty content to keep it off of Xbox, to get people to buy it on PlayStation, and they want to make it so if Microsoft owns Call of Duty, they can't do the same with something that they own. Absolutely tremendously idiotic. And, you know, like, and I don't even really hate PlayStation, but this is that nonsense that really frustrates me as a gamer, because after all, Microsoft, they belong in the gaming industry too. They should be allowed to try to compete. And the fact is, it's like Sony can do this and close their billion-dollar deals for studios, but Microsoft isn't allowed to do anything like that, right? Everything's held up, and oh, hey, let's hear them cry and complain. You know, it's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. Microsoft should do whatever they want with the company after they own it. I don't think, you know, like to me, Sony would do the same thing if they were able to. They would do the same exact thing, and nobody can tell me otherwise. They would absolutely do the same damn thing. I don't understand this. Sony, you're making yourselves look bad. You're making people, your fans are seeing this, the fear. Just let Microsoft do what they're going to do. Find a better way to compete yourselves. Nintendo does it. They don't need Activision. Why do you? And they've even repeatedly said they'll keep stuff on PlayStation. Like, I don't understand this thought process. Yeah, you keep saying that, Game Pass isn't a thing that you're worried about, or, that whatever, and then behind closed doors, you guys keep saying that you're worried that people choose Xbox over PlayStation. I mean, like, what? Is Microsoft not allowed to compete? Microsoft can't set their services better? They can't buy content? They can't buy studios? They can't do anything? Absolutely, without a doubt, the most ridiculous, hypocritical crap I've ever heard in my life. And I've lost respect for Sony. They honestly don't know what the hell they're doing. And I don't want to see them close or anything like that, but this is just one of those things that, man, you really, really kind of hope to see things happen in this way in the future. Like I just hope that things kind of open up and people see just what an absolute nightmare that Sony are being right now. They're just being real assholes, and you know, I can't stand it, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, I'm gonna link this article. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap gamer out.